Tyrone.
This is John.
And this is Lit on Life's podcast.
Let's get it, dude.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this shit.
Let's do it.
Hi guys, welcome to the Lit on Life podcast. I'm Tyrone. I have my co-host Taylor with me, and I have my brother Dustin Crawford here with me
What's
today.
up?
What's
DJ
up?
here.
DJ's been doing some really cool things. I want to say super grateful to have you on, dude. You're a blessing in a lot of people's lives, man, and I'm just super proud of you.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, woke up feeling good this morning. Last night I did my Miyama-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu testing.
You're what, Maru?
Miyama-Ryu. Yeah, it's an old traditional style Jiu-Jitsu. It's not really like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's more of like the striking. Like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like you like get position and like you worry about submissions. Like,
Yeah.
The old like traditional jiu-jitsu that I study is like strike first. Like we don't really care about some like position.
Yeah.
You know, but it was cool. You
I'm
know,
all about that.
I've been working really hard. Like it takes a lot to like get your belt, and I've been working really hard. Like I mean, I go every day, and it's like a rite of passage is what they call it. And so it was about 4 hours, and you go through hell.
Ooh.
I mean, you go through everything that you're supposed to know up until the point of your next belt, and then we also had a sports jiu-jitsu tournament, which it's pretty cool. And I took first in that, and then I got my blue belt. So I was proud. It was a proud moment.
How far up is the blue belt?
So in Miyama Jiu-Jitsu is like a little untraditional. So it was white, and then yellow, orange, green, blue.
Dude,
So I'm still like way under there. Like you go blue, purple, brown, black. So
I got my white, I think, so.
well,
Whatever's
you know what?
under white.
I was pretty much a white belt when I started, you know, and just working hard work, dedication, and consistency, you know, you can accomplish anything. So I feel really good, and yeah, just having a great day so far.
Awesome.
Woke up feeling good. The sun wasn't too big of a pain in the ass last night. He was like actually sleeping, so I got some sleep. That was good.
What do you mean the sun wasn't too big?
My son, Jordan.
Oh, your son. Okay.
No, my
Train
son.
outside or what?
No. So it all depends on like what mood he's in, or whether or not I sleep. Cause he could get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, "I'm gonna play."
It's a day.
And
It's the start of the day.
He's gonna play, and he, you know, and then he wants me up because he wants me to play with him. So he'll like grab my head and like try and get me up, pull my hair, try and like get my head up.
You have another one on the way too, right?
We have another one on the way.
Congratulations,
Yep.
man.
Thank you. Super close. Oh my gosh, how quick does time fly?
Dude, it's the end of August already.
I know. Well, you know, my parents and my friends always used to say that time flies when you have kids, and they grow up fast. And I never really fully understood it until I experienced it, because like it just seems like yesterday that like she had Jordan, and now he's 2, and now we're having another one. It's like not gonna be long before I'm gonna have to worry about like, you know, dates and all that crap. It's
Yeah.
just school,
Grandkids.
grandkids.
From their
he's already
depends to your
2.
depends.
So yeah, I know. He's probably gonna have to take care of me because
It even goes faster once you get into the grandkids. Time just
yeah, I'll bet.
flying.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely have to take care of me because I'm gonna have Alzheimer's early. So I take a lot of it.
Did you get kicked in the head yesterday?
I
Like
did
full blown
get-
kick to the
Yeah,
fucking face?
he freaking knocked my jaw out. So one of my really good teammates, he's a brown belt, and so he's really good. In fact, he was gonna like, he's really good at like kicks, standing, and so we did the sports jiu-jitsu. Basically, sports jiu-jitsu is just like it's a little different. Like you strike, but you want to like score points, and then if you get in the clinch, you can't strike. And then if you take them down, you only have 30 seconds to get points, and it's like a point
Dude, that's how it should be anyways.
system.
I'm tired of watching people just roll around on the ground.
Yeah, and then if you tap them out, the whole thing's over. It's 2 rounds, but if you get a tap out, you win.
That's cool.
But I knew he was good at kicking, and I was just like, I ain't having that. I'm not gonna play to somebody else's strengths in a fight.
Yeah.
So I just kept taking him down, but he did manage to sneak one in. It was
So your ground game's getting fired then?
yeah.
Ooh.
Ground game
Hello,
is
God.
right. I know, right? ground game is getting good. I work hard. I've got my Sensei Perry is my teammate. He just got his black belt. He's also fighting, and
Right on.
he works with me a lot. You know. So
Awesome. We usually do breathing before the
okay.
before
Let's do it.
the podcast, but today we did play fighting, and I learned that Taylor's ground game is pretty good.
I'll bet.
It's all weight, bro.
Yeah.
Get the
I can
belly
show
to
you
shift
how to
the
use
right
his-
way.
I can show you how to use his weight against
I
him.
need you to, because he got me up this
Hey.
morning, dude.
Jiu-jitsu is all about, you don't even need strength. In fact, when you're using strength, you're actually going to do it wrong. That was me when I first got there. I was a white belt.
Yeah, you try to
I'm going to try and
brute force your
overpower
way through
you.
shit.
But realistically, you don't need strength at all. Like, you just got to know, if you know the right places to, like, use their weight against them, it's just like judo. You can just flip them, you know? And, because Perry, he's, you know, bigger than me, and a couple of my guys are way bigger than me, and you can just throw them around, so.
I've trained a couple times, and I've got wrapped up basically by little children.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah,
that
size
I
doesn't
outweigh
mean
by
anything.
50 pounds.
And that's why if you ever go against anybody big, you know, you're better off using their weight against them. Definitely don't take it to the ground, because you never know if somebody has a knife or something.
Yeah.
But you can definitely throw them and then get away. So it all depends on, there's all kinds of different situations in life.
Right on, brother. I'm glad you're having a great day. I'm glad you're here. I love you. I love you both, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the. We're all in recovery. We all used to use drugs, you know, and I want to know kind of a little bit about your past. What led you to get into recovery?
Yeah, definitely. So me, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. I have my older sister, she is 10 years older than me, and then my brother, who's 5 years older than me. Me and my brother just clicked, bro. I mean, of course, that's how it always is, you know, he's my older brother. My family life wasn't the greatest. My dad, you know, was always yelling. It was rough. And so me and my brother just like were basically partners in crime. And so whatever he did, I kind of did. And I also never really fit in, you know, because like my parents were always fighting and stuff. Like I had to get myself ready for school, you know, like what kind of 5-year-old knows how to get themselves ready for school? So of course I looked like a dork.
This one.
You know, I did. I was wearing mismatched stuff, so, you know, I got bullied. I got bullied as a kid. I actually left school one year because I thought I was going to solve it. And then I was just like, well, I missed my friends. I still had friends,
Yeah.
you know, my neighborhood friends. And so I went back, and I'll never forget it, man. Like, this is like the moment that, like, changed my life. My bully was just always picking on me, you know, ripping my clothes, ripping my homework up. And I had a crush on this girl. Her name was Brianna. Man, I had a crush on her. I would take her to those little whatchamacallits. I'd go walk down to her house. And it was like the last day of 6th grade. And he comes up and he's just like, boom! He like kicks me right in the nuts. And everybody's looking, like everybody's out. And I like get down and I'm like crying. And then I think it was right there. I was just like, I had enough. And so I freaking just like tackled him and just kind of, you know, wailed on him.
Yeah.
Kind of like Ralphie on the Christmas Story.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's legit like that. But then I was just like, known as like, now I'm known as like this kid, this crazy kid, you know? And so it kind of carried on with me throughout junior high. I never really fit in. I was always trying to like, you know, play sports, but I couldn't get the grades. You know, I had the skill. I was pretty good enough to make the football team. I tried out, but I didn't have the grades, you know, because I'm hanging out with the wrong crowd, and so I felt like I was always like chasing, you know, trying to be somebody I wasn't. And I think that's kind of what led to it, because I never had that. And then I went to a high school party, and I just started drinking, and I was good at it, you know, like that was my new identity. Like I was like the party animal, you know, I was like the life of the party.
Yeah.
Everybody loved me now. And of course I finally feel accepted. I went all out, you know, every weekend, just going hard. And it didn't really take off until you know, I remember I first started fighting. It was kind of just a whim, you know, like we were hanging out one night and my friends were like, oh, we should do that. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. That'd be dope. And then like the next day after they all sobered up and everything, they were like, I ain't doing that. Well, I was kind of like, all right, well now I'm going to do it because I was still searching that approval from everybody.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and I'll never forget my first fight, man. It was so embarrassing. So I was scared. Like, I didn't want to do it, but of course my pride, and I'm just like...
Is this in the ring?
Yeah,
Okay.
in the cage. I've got to freaking, I've got to do it now, because I've got to seek these guys' approval. You know, I can't not do it. So I get there, and I'm freaking out. There's lights and cameras and everything, and I get in the back, and I get all checked in, and I was just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing this. And I told my brother, I said, get my shit. Let's get out of here. I'm bailing, bro. I ain't
That's
doing
how I
this.
felt the other year, bro. When we boxed at the fair, that's about when I
Yeah.
see my opponent, I was like, I want to get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah. So I looked for a back door, and there's 2 doors, and I tried to leave, and the commission's like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I just gotta go get something out of my car real quick. Why you got your bag? Yeah. No, sit down. I was like, all right, well, I gotta commit now, and I did it. But the cool thing is like, I came out, and I got dominated, kneed me in the face right away, choked me out. I got out, and then everyone was just like, good job, that was cool. Like, I'm like, did you just watch that?
Yeah,
I
just-
I
Can I tell you something? My first
Kneed in the
fight, you know how
face.
you learn a 1-2, your
Yeah.
basics, 1-2. I was so fucking nervous. I was going like this. I was trying to throw a 1-2 and going like this, dude, and just getting pelted every time I tried to do it, and that was like the best I could do. It's super nerve wracking. That shit is terrifying.
Yeah, so nerve-wracking. The nerves never go away. But everybody just, you know, gave me kudos, and it was different, you know, because normally in life you don't lose at something and get kudos. So I started doing that, and I think it was like my 4th or 5th fight, I broke my nose against a really tough guy. I probably shouldn't have been in there with. He was like so good. And I came out like my nose was broken. I had like red in my whites of my eyes. Like I had a raccoon eye. I was just cut up. It was like Rocky, like legit. And I was at a party, and one of my friends offered me one of the pain pills, you know. And I think that was probably the day that, you know, changed my life forever, of course. Because for some reason it was just hooked, you know. It was immediate. I immediately started getting worse, you know. It was just like every day. It was an everyday thing
Yeah.
now. And eventually it led to, you know, just always focusing about that, you know. And
Fighting it out the window.
fighting was still there, but it was just me getting into the ring to like get money, you know. It was very, very stupid, immature. So yeah, I mean, I struggled with that for a while, and it got worse, of course. That's the thing about the disease of addiction, is it's progressive. No matter what, it's always going to get worse. And so of course you run into the either jail institutions or death. Like that, there's no way that you're going to escape from the progression of addiction. And it did, and it got worse. And you know, once I, you know, discovered the heroin, it just downfalled bad. You know, I spent a good 10 years just suffering from that. And eventually I got kicked out. You know, I was living with my parents, got kicked out. It just all went downhill. So I met a girl, and things were going all right. You know, I did get clean for a little bit. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I did get clean for a minute, and it was like 2.5 years. I went to treatment, and I thought I was good, you know, like, I'm good, I've got a couple years now, and then I got like some teeth worked on, and I ended up getting some pain pills, and it just, you know, picked
Yeah.
up right where it left off, like right where it left off. And then 10 years later, of course, it's just, you know, I went to being homeless, living on the street, you know, it was horrible.
Truly progressive, dude. It is progressive.
Yeah,
As
that
fuck.
was, that's part of what keeps me clean. These days, as I think about the times that I spent, like, on the street, it was just, I have PTSD sometimes with some of the stuff that I saw, you know, with the people getting stabbed, and, because I was up in Salt Lake where, like, the cartel was and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just bad. It was a horrible lifestyle. I'm talking, like, I don't want to get into too much details, but, like, imagine bed bugs. Like, and you're just like not caring.
Yeah.
It was horrible, and like I almost got stabbed because one night I was doing work for one of the cartels, and I lost his money, and they tried to kill me. In fact, I probably would have been dead, but this lady drove by and like saw us and like, what are you guys doing? And they took off, and I was like the scariest moment of my life. Like, so it wasn't until finally, like, thank God intervened, and it's just like I got arrested, and I'm super grateful that like it was because bounty hunters were had to come get me, because if not, I probably would have gone to prison.
Yeah.
With all the charges.
Didn't you feel like your life was over at that moment?
Yeah, absolutely, and
And now it's like the greatest gift.
yeah,
Isn't
absolutely.
that weird?
Absolutely.
I have to remember that in times like now when things get hard, that it could possibly be the greatest gift I'm about to receive.
Yeah.
Things are happening for me, not to me.
Yeah, definitely. My mother, God rest her soul, she overdosed 2017, and the disease of addiction is so powerful. I haven't really actually told much people this, but I figure it's a good time to get vulnerable. This is the disease of addiction. I just saw my mother dead, tried to revive her, called the emergency, they took her away. The only thing I cared about is I hope they don't find my stuff.
Yep.
And that to me is just sick, And it didn't take until I was sitting in purgatory, in detox, and I finally was clean, that I realized my mom's gone, And it hit me, like, it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I started crying, and so I feel like, every day that I live, I've got my mom looking down on me, and I just try and look at life in a great way, and I think that in a way she kind of passed so that I could live. I know that.
I remember Taylor Burton said that exact same thing. Did you know Taylor?
Yeah.
Barber? His mom passed while he was in jail, and he said she took the disease of addiction with her, and he ended up passing
Yeah.
from an overdose. But so how'd you get clean?
So I went to it was kind of weird how I got clean. Well, I mean, obviously not, but I went to jail. Jail, for sure. But I don't know what happened in jail. Like, I think it was kind of like my mother passing, and I kind of like started seeing that, like, oh man, this drug took my mom. I started building up that hate, I was kind of pissed. And then COVID, this is right when COVID hit. Like, I was in jail right when COVID hit. So the judge ordered me, they wanted to send me to prison. I had numerous chances. The prosecutor hated me. He still hates me. Well, I don't know if he still hates
Probably
me.
not anymore.
Probably not anymore.
We've all been hated by prosecutors at one point, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, I go in front of him, and it's just like, he straight up was just like, prison. It's just like nothing. It's just like a dead, no emotions. Just prison, 2 years, prison. And the judge is like looking at my stuff. He's like, have you ever been to treatment? I'm like, treatment? I mean, yeah, I went to classes. Yeah, I've been to treatment. No, have you ever been to like treatment?
You're like I
a
took GED
rehab
classes.
Yeah, I'm like,
I took math in 7th grade.
yeah, I'm like, what is rehab? I mean, I've seen like celebrity rehab. That's like as far as my knowledge went is to rehab. It's like legit, like celebrity rehab. That's all I kind of knew about it. I knew like rehabs existed, but 10 years and nobody had ever given me a chance. Kept just sending me to jail. I'd come right out, go right back to it. So this judge finally, is like, well, we're gonna send you to rehab. But I'm telling you right now, this is your last chance. If you screw this up, I will send you to prison for the recommended time. And what it was actually not even a full rehab program. He was just gonna have.
Where did you go?
He was just gonna have the RSAT or whatever it was called in jail. It was like a 90-day rehab that you go every day. So it was still in jail. It would have been a rehab, but to me, I was like, cool, But then COVID hit, and all the programming got shut down. So like, I'm just like, yeah, let's try and get out, I'm gonna try and get out. Like my old ways started like working. My manipulation tactics came in, and I got on the phone and I says, "Hey, well, this program got canceled, so now let me out so I can go to outpatient." And I actually convinced them. I convinced my probation officer to let me out. So we go back in front of the judge, and even the judge said, I had the judge convinced, and the prosecutor said, "Hell no, no way we're letting him out. You're still going to rehab." And I think that was probably the greatest thing he could have done for me. I went to a new rehab. It was Crossover Recovery Center.
Oh yeah.
Super cool, that's where I met some of my best friends today, like Crystal. She was staff there. I freaking love her. And that's like when I got picked up. So here's the thing. So I'm in jail, and now I'm excited because like it was kind of weird. Like there's a moment in jail where I had a choice to go to like a couple different rehabs, and Crossover was gonna be like a little bit longer. And I was talking to my sister because she was like gonna come let me stay down there if I completed rehab. And it kind of, something happened to me. Normally I really just like am focusing about getting out of jail. I want the shortest amount of time. And then I was just like, you know what? I think I need it. I'm okay. I'm okay with
Acceptance, dude.
I'm okay with a little bit of extra time.
I feel like in jail is where if you can find acceptance in there, you're in a good place.
Exactly. And so yeah, it was really good. I started getting excited to go. I'd wake up every morning, I'd go down there, and I was drinking my coffee and just waiting for him to call me. The director, the clinical director, basically told me it could be any day. We're just waiting on a bed. So I was down there every day, just waiting. Waiting for him.
That sucks.
Waiting for him to roll me
I
up.
had to do the same thing.
Oh man.
Doesn't
Sitting
the
there
world-
looking at the
Yeah,
clock,
you're
looking at
sitting
the
there.
date.
Yeah.
Like, when do I get out?
Yep.
Call, come, do something. Get
Yep.
me out of here.
Doesn't
Yeah.
the whole world start vibrating when they say, "Hey, Finn, roll up"?
Yeah.
The whole fucking building just starts vibrating.
Yeah.
You're like, I did it.
Yeah.
I fucking made it.
Yep. You feel good. So.
Until you get to your clothes and they're all moldy.
Right? Oh my god. Oh yeah. They
Yeah.
especially when you're homeless.
Yeah,
And
that's
you've been
happened
wearing
to
the
me.
same clothes for like.
You think they're gonna be all fret? You're like, I can't wait to wear
Yeah.
my fucking.
Oh.
Dude, when I
My
got
new
out, my clothes
clothes.
were straight up moldy, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
So disgusting. I felt so bad, you know.
Yeah.
And so I finally get called, and the two people to come pick me up was Ralph and Ben. That's the first people I seen when I got out of jail, And so here I am. I look out and I see this, tatted up, bald dude.
Yeah.
And they were so cool to me, man. What do you want? This and that, and like, do you want a cigarette? And I'm like, no, I'm not smoking. I'm trying a new thing, and it was super cool. I basically just like absorbed everybody like a sponge that was doing it because I really wanted it this time. I wanted it for my mom. I wanted it for myself. I wanted something different.
I could see that in you and hear that from what you were saying in meetings and just how
Yeah.
you're living your life too.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. The best way I can describe it is, I am an addict. I'm always gonna be an addict. I have cravings every day. We're never gonna escape that. But I think it's finally to the point where it's like a love-hate relationship, and I definitely hate it more than I love it, and I think that is part of what keeps me clean every day. So yeah, I went to treatment. It was so cool, like 10 years, all I've been doing is using and living a horrible life, and they took me to go, we went swimming and jumping off cliffs. I was having the time of my life, and it was at that point where I was like, dude, this is life. Like, I felt alive again for the first time. And then I'll never forget it, man. We were having the NA meetings there, and Crystal brought me my first chip. It was a 90-day chip. And I freaking cherished that thing. Like, I seriously, like, carried it around with me. Like, I know this is, like, kind of crazy, but, like, I, like, slept with it. Like, it was, like, I freaking cherished it, because, like, I was super proud of myself, And if I lost it, I would, like, have anxiety and shit. Like, I'd freak out if I lost my chip. And so I really cherished that first chip, And so, for me, like, that was my beginning. Now I'm up to I want to go to the next one, you know. I started looking forward to getting the next chip, you know. Oh, I can't wait to get that next chip,
Same,
you know.
dude. Same.
And it's just cool. It was a grateful, enjoyable experience, you know. Started working on me. I think that was the biggest thing.
It's just God, dude. It's
I
just
know,
God.
it is.
God is here.
It is, for sure.
You just turned down too low.
Don't fucking ruin my God moment, dude.
Well, he's here. He's definitely here. So, the biggest thing that I did in treatment that I think probably was what saved me is getting rid of like all the reservations, all like the back doors. Because I think like what really upset me is like I was in treatment and one of my counselors literally told me I was gonna relapse. I was like, what?
Fuck you, huh?
Yeah, seriously, I almost got in trouble because I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I got pissed. He's like, yeah, well, look, this is a percentage, and there's only like 7% of people who do this aren't gonna relapse. I'm like, and I'm gonna be that 7 percentile. Like, don't tell me I'm gonna go out there and relapse.
What a cool
Crazy was when I was in treatment, they had everyone lined up on the wall, and then they had each one of us, who do you think's gonna make it? And then,
Aaron would have you do that.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and they'd line us up, and dude, I was always in like the top 4, but I never was first one. I was like, I'm making this shit, dude.
For
You
real.
bumped your head.
Yeah. So I was just like, nah, man. Like, I'm not gonna relapse.
It was
Fucked up,
too.
huh?
Aaron Ward also told me that I would never fucking stay clean the first time in 2005. And
I think sometimes he did that for motivation too,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and to make you look at it like, am I really gonna stay
he was
clean?
right
And
about a lot of shit though.
Yeah.
You say shit and then like you're saying, it just made me so fucking mad, dude. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, oh.
dude, I would stew for a month.
Yeah.
Aaron would say something to me, and I would stew for a month, and I just do everything I could to prove that motherfucker wrong, dude. Love you, Aaron. I love you, dude.
But it's worked.
Yeah.
So that's what's good, you know. And so yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, exactly that. Watch me, you know. So I immediately now I'm already absorbing like a sponge. I'm already all in it. So now I'm even more motivated. I'm like, I ain't gonna freaking relapse. Watch this. I did everything I possibly. I wanted to leave. In fact, they were gonna graduate me. I says I ain't leaving until I have addressed everything that's going wrong with me. And I think the biggest thing was, so my mom, when she passed away, I was there that night and we used together. And that was probably the biggest thing that I had to process when I was in treatment because I blamed myself for so long. For so long I blamed myself. Like it was a weight that I carried,
Yeah.
and I was able to process that, you know, because it wasn't my fault. She went in the other room and she took a bunch of extra stuff, and if it wasn't me, like it's not me, you know. It wasn't my fault, but I carried it. And so when I finally got to the point of graduation, I just felt like I had built a good foundation. I knew I wasn't, you know, done, but I felt I had built a good foundation and I was ready to take the next step. And I immediately just absorbed everything outside. I started going to meetings, and I started, you know, my outpatient, my intensive outpatient. I did all that and just started working, just started doing everything I could. And the biggest thing I'd say I did, dude, I was on Facebook. I cleared out my Facebook, and then I just seen like people in recovery, and I was just like, add,
Yep.
add. Oh, you're in recovery? Add. And I think that's how I've got a lot of my friends today. Because that night I was just sober living and I'm like, oh, you're in recovery? Bet.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to. The saying is, if you want to be a millionaire, surround yourself with millionaires.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be clean. I didn't want to live that life anymore, you know? I was done. I was tired. And so I just kept adding people in recovery. Just
When I got out, the first thing I did is delete.
Yeah.
delete.
Block. Block.
Yeah.
Block. Because I
Yeah.
know you're going to message me.
Exactly. I still
Block.
get calls from people sometimes. We get calls, me and my wife get calls all the time from people. Can you give us money? Can you do this for us? Can you do that for us? I'm like, remember when I did this for you? It's your turn to pay me back.
That's a hard thing,
Well-
dude, to not give in to those, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to feel like we're in debt still. You
Yeah.
know? And like, who am I to I've been told you think you're fucking better than us now, and you think you're
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
hits me hard, dude.
Yeah.
And I have to like really think about it. And I'm like, do I think I'm? And I'm like, no, dude.
Especially
I
if you got
don't.
any kind of feelings attached to that person
Yeah.
too. It's
Mhm.
easy when you don't give a fuck. It's just like, yeah, pound it, dude. But I got some
Yeah.
good friends.
Pound
Like
it.
my best friends still are getting high. Some of my best friends, and it kills me. And I just hope one day that
I know.
they show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still talk to them here and there on the phone, but as far as going out and doing anything with them, I can't do it.
We're told like,
Can't do it.
especially, we're told, you know, keep doing what you're doing. That's the best thing you can do for someone. You know,
Mhm.
and sometimes that's hard to fully take in because you feel like you could do more, or especially if you're close with them.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, but it's the truth. You know,
yeah.
the best thing you can do is lead by example.
Yeah, who would have thought, you know?
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd be in this spot and we'd be like, oh my god, now I see what all my family was dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, when you get
It's hard
close
to be on the other
somebody
end of the coin, the
and
other
it's
side of the
just
coin,
like,
man.
You want to save them, you want to grab them and be like, God, just stop.
But same time,
And you can't.
it puts you in gratitude too, because then you realize how much they did care for you and how much they did love you. Because then you're going
Mhm.
through it yourself, and you actually get to see that side
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
It's like, oh, they did love me. All those times my dad would do things for me, and I thought he was just being a fucking
Mhm.
dick. And
Yeah,
it's like,
for
well,
sure.
it's because he loved me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I totally understand what you said as far as like, you think you're better than me. I've had that a lot too. And then you start to think it. You're
Yeah.
just like, well, why am I clean? Why can't they have what I
Yeah,
have?
yeah.
And that's fucking me. That's got.
I know though for certain
A lot.
I've put in so much fucking work, dude, that it's not like a lucky thing. It's not. I've had blessings along the way, but
Yeah.
I've worked as hard as I possibly can through breathing, through meetings, through step work, through fucking meditation, through
Mhm.
reading, you know, through everything I possibly can, through the gym, through working out, through fighting. You know,
Yeah.
putting myself in uncomfortable at
Yeah,
37
definitely.
years old, fighting a 23-year-old. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
that shit was uncomfortable, but that's where the growth is. And doing this, man, is uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
This is where the growth is, and
Yeah, we earned it, but you're always gonna have that voice in the back of your head, and so I think you're right. You know, all we can do is just lead by example, experience strength and hope. And just that's just the biggest thing. That's why I think hope is at the end. Just hope that they can find their way back before.
before they die, like a lot of people are, you know.
That's
Um,
my biggest fear, you know. Honestly, here's the crazy thing. I check bookings every day. I don't know why.
I did.
Am I the only one?
No.
Here's the thing. This is crazy. Maybe not. I check bookings every day because I'm hoping that I will see their name there rather than the alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of, when I know, I'm kind of hoping that I see their name there because then I'll know, like, that hope will, like, come back.
Will
you know?
surface again, you know, because
Yeah.
that's where, like we were talking about, you find that acceptance in jail.
Mhm.
Like when everybody talks bad about, I'm like, don't be dissing jail, dude.
Yeah. Well, I
Don't be
mean,
fucking dissing
it
jail.
sucks, but it's good for
But you
you.
get back to like basics, man. You get back to reading.
Yeah.
You get back to working out. You get back to eating three meals a day. You
Well,
get back to
3, if you want to call them meals.
yeah. Well,
3,
Dude,
I'll see
purgatory
like
jail.
10, bro.
and you get to sleep. You have a sleep schedule. You know. So you get back to the basics and you find
Yep.
some hope in that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Dude, most people come out of jail super on fire
Oh,
or
yeah.
hopeful or you know, and then life hits
Mm-hmm.
and we get rocked, and that's where putting in work comes in. If you're willing to come out and go to the meetings and share in meetings like you did, and you started working in recovery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you start working at
Yeah,
Crossover when you were
definitely.
done?
That's a funny thing. Yeah, I wanted to work in treatment. Like I said, I was ready to absorb anything recovery related. Me and Crystal were talking, and it's just like surround yourself with recovery. So I was like, I want to work in recovery, and I had it determined. I was determined to work in recovery. So me and her got together, and we made my resume while I was in treatment. And I literally, on the day I graduated, I took it to the clinical director and I says, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? I took him outside and I sat him down and I said, I want to work here. Literally, on the day I graduated. And he's like, okay, well, it's going to be a minute. You know, you just graduated. He's like, but as soon as you have a year clean, come back and talk to me. And for me, I was like, I bet, dude. So I went to work for their company at the Switchpoint thrift store. I was working for him, just waiting, you know. Here I have my next goal, you know. that was my thing. Like, I got a goal, I'm gonna achieve it. 90 days, boom, get it. You know, next chip, get it. That was my thing now. I'm gonna just hold on to whatever I can to keep me clean.
Yeah.
Whatever that goal is, whatever is gonna keep me pillow to pillow without picking up. And so I eventually went to work to treatment, and that's the coolest experience. You know, now I'm on the other end.
Isn't
taking
that a
out
trip, dude?
Swimming, oh, it's so cool.
UAs, you're like, what the
Oh
fuck?
god!
I'm basically a
oh,
cop,
so
dude.
it was hard. I know it's so hard, and it's like, and then you get somebody who pisses dirty, and you're like,
Oh, I gotta
what
talk
do I
to
do?
him.
I've
Yeah.
got
Confront
a
them.
job to do. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. I hope you don't get kicked out for this, but like, I've got to hold you accountable, and then you feel bad.
Super hard thing to do, man.
So hard.
So hard.
It's so hard. But I loved it. I worked at Crossover for a while until the new regime took over, and then I found my way over to Hope Rising. I freaking love Hope Rising. You know.
Are you still working there?
No.
Okay,
so-
I have a question from Mitch. Mitch wants to know if you get punched in the, or if you're getting paid to punch people in the face right now.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I get paid a lot to punch people in the face.
Do you have sponsors right now?
Yes. I do
Are
have
you working
sponsors.
at the time at
Yes.
this moment? You are. Okay.
I'm still working. I don't
Mitch
make
is like, is
enough.
he just punch people in the face and living the dream?
Hopefully,
That's the goal, right?
But
Whack! Pay up, sucker.
yeah. The thing is I only fight like every 3 months, and the amount of money that I put into my fighting is a lot. You know, I drive to Hurricane every day to train. You know, I got my supplements, my gym membership, all my equipment. It all adds up. You know, driving up to Salt Lake, which he does pay for my gas and my hotel. Now, he wasn't at first, but now that I've built a rapport with him. So yeah, I'm making like a good amount, but definitely not enough to live off. you
Yeah.
know, especially with the family and bills. You know, I've got another kid on the way. The older they get, the more they eat. You know, now I've got to cook for 3, soon it'll be 4.
You got a lot on your plate, dude. I'm super proud of you for working, training the way you do, still keeping your recovery the way you do. I think that's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I really do.
Thanks.
And wearing a smile while you do it the whole time, man. When is your fight?
September 30th.
Where at?
It's up in Salt Lake at the Union Event Center.
How can people get tickets?
Just hit me up.
Just
I got
hit-
tickets at my house. Yeah.
Cool.
I know
I'm
you're
gonna try to-
going.
Yeah, I'm going.
Are
Me and
you
Vanessa's
going?
I'm probably going. I gotta talk to my wife a little
Yeah.
bit more. But I
Ben's going.
got
Taz
her pretty
is going.
convinced we're going.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a good
gonna be
excuse
fun.
to go visit my family too. so.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, recovery's good. I want to touch on something. I love working in recovery, and you know, I worked with Hope Rising, and I loved Hope Rising, but I did have an opportunity to go over to Steps and make a little bit more money, and I have a family. Like, it's so expensive. Like, I'm barely making it. My past caught up with me, and I have a car that I got when I was in my addiction, and they sued me, took me to court. I've got a garnishment on my check. They're taking like $400 a month,
No.
and they basically like don't even care. Like, I tried to talk them down, and she's just like, I don't care. She doesn't care
true,
that I have
though.
a family.
Yeah, they don't.
They want her to take more. In fact, I finally got her down a little bit, and then I started making a little more, and they raised it. I'm like, I don't understand this. I make a little bit more money to try and survive, and you raise what you guys take. So that was hard, but I really love working in recovery, but it was really, really taking a toll on me. I'm not gonna lie. Because I
relate.
well, I have this big group of friends in sober softball, and all this, my group. But now I'm going to work every day, and I'm getting even more people that I've never met before. I'm getting close to them, becoming really good friends with them, and then unfortunately they go back out,
Yeah, it sucks.
and some of them don't make it back, and it was just so hard. It's so exhausting, and it was really hard. It was really hard on me. So I needed a breather.
Yeah.
And so I do work at Redhead Supports is what it's called.
Cool.
We have a couple of our buddies that work there.
Yeah.
So I work with disabled people. It's super rewarding. It's difficult at times because these guys are, coming from DCFS, taken from their families, basically just hard hard cases, but they just need somebody to, you know, be there and be respectful, and it's cool. It's
It's
rewarding.
awesome, yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun.
Love that.
But I definitely, I do miss recovery, and I think I've been thinking about it a lot, and I want to go back. I miss it.
Just go in and out. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
go in and out. That's the
Well, I-
burnout thing is legit, man. It is. Did you feel burned out a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just hard.
There's a lot to it that you
Because you
didn't.
want to save them, and you're just
Yeah.
like, and then that starts to go back to what we talked about a minute ago. Like, why me? Like, why can't you get what I have? Just work, just put in the work, just do your steps. Like you tell them, get a sponsor. Every week they come in and they're like, do you have a sponsor? No. You know, it's like, bro, you need a sponsor. I'm telling you right now. Like when I started working with my sponsor, you know, like I was graduated from rehab, completed IOP, killing it, bro. I was like, I'm cured. I'm freaking, I'm cured. You know, I've seen the light. I worked step 1, and then I'm just like, oh shit, maybe I still have a bunch of issues
Yeah.
that I didn't know
Yeah.
about. Cause I go meet, you know, my sponsor, and he's like, well, what about this, this, and this, and this? And I'm just like, damn.
You got the
'Cause you-
dopest sponsor in the world, by
I
the way.
right.
The dopest.
I know I do.
Shout out to Jordy.
Shout out to Jody. So,
He was saying, what were you saying? Jordan must be a sponsor because he's late.
dude, I literally
I
am
did
so
say that.
bad at that. I'm so bad at being on time. I'm not even on time to work. Literally, you're like, there's a thing on our clock in that shows who's late. I'm literally always on that side of the board. I'm usually not bad though. Usually like only a couple minutes. But I don't know. I just have the most horrible time.
Dude, we all got shit to work on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go into some questions from some of your fans.
Mm-hmm.
Are you cool with that?
Absolutely.
All right. I wanted to ask you, how do you fight in a cage and remain the nicest dude I've ever met?
You know, fighting in the cage is definitely hard to find that switch. So what we do in my dojo is he like finds your like your animal, like your spirit animal.
Yeah, that's
For me-
cool.
For me, it's a lion. So for me, I've got like my lion right here, and he's on a leash. And so what we practice is like in the dojo, we'll get that animalistic nature, and then he'll say, "Okay, calm down," you know. And then we have to like stop and then breathe, and then we don't know when he's gonna call it next. He'll say, you know, release your beast, and then we'll have to like release it, and then he'll calm us down. And I think that's the biggest
Dude,
thing
that's fire.
that's helped me, because I've had a hard time in the past flipping that switch on. In fact, my last 2 fights, they've just been on.
Yeah, you're aggressive.
Going into those last 2,
You're
I was-
pretty aggressive
I was
about it.
pissed. You know, they made it personal, so
Yeah.
I was just in the back. But this next one we've really been focusing on is just I want to be super calm, super traditional, and just, you know, really respectful. And my sensei teaches me that you want to be super humble in life, but when you need to,
Be
you
savage.
can kill somebody.
Warrior in a garden, you ever heard of that?
Yeah, that's exactly what he
Yeah.
says. Warrior in a garden. You know, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a garden in
Gardener in a war, yeah. That's fine.
So, here's the thing. I wasn't always a nice person, you know. It's part of the recovery lifestyle, you know. I was selfish, super manipulative, kind of an asshole, to be honest. And so I just kind of been taking the recovery aspect into my life too. I just want to, every day that I live, I want to try and just be a better person than I was yesterday, you know? I used to have the worst road rage. Like, legit. Like, I would, so bad. Like, I would, freaking, you cut me off, I would get up next to you and probably find something in my car and throw it at your window or something. I would cut you off just to be a dick. Or chase
Taylor
you
threw
down.
something at my window the other day.
No, I get it. I get mad when I drive. I'm not a happy driver.
Yeah, and so yeah, I've been trying to just do that. You know, when I start to get upset, I heard something in treatment, and it's really stuck with me. And it's you know, our attitude in life is 10% of what happens to us, and 90% on how you act, how you know react. So for me, like for things that are just would normally get me upset, I'm just like whatever, you know, wave to them. I hope you have a good
Yeah.
day, because you obviously aren't in 10 seconds. You ain't even gonna be on my mind anymore. You know, turn my music up. You know, get down to some Taylor Swift.
T-Swizzle, dude. T-Swizzle.
You know, you just gotta try and I just want to be a better person because I hadn't been for so long. You know, manipulative. You know,
Absolutely, man.
horrible.
So Ben, is it still scary, and how scary is it each time you get in the ring?
It is scary. You'll never get over that. You'll never get over the nerves. So, it's kind of funny. When I get in there, like, it's never fails. Like, when I get there, I'm, like, super nervous. And I always have to, like, run to the bathroom. Because it's, like, it's just really hard to get in there. I think it's mostly just, like, the cameras and the crowd and
Yeah.
all that. That's really good to be. I'm not really afraid.
There's a lot of energy there, too.
Absolutely.
And you're feeling it, dude.
Absolutely. I'm not really afraid to get punched because I get punched every day. Like, my teammate the other day freaking side kicked me in the face, like, hard. And just, I'm constantly getting beat up. So I'm not really afraid of that. I'm not really afraid of that. But it's like a lot, you know? You're in the back, especially, you know, when your main event and you're sitting back there and everybody's going out. And you have to stay calm, and then you have to control your nerves. Your body's literally doing like a roller coaster, and you have to keep it all in control. And so yeah, it's definitely scary. But I think with the more I work, I definitely feel more comfortable, and I'm coming.
It
out.
slows down a little bit. The more you work, the more everything slows down.
Dude, now I'm seeing like when I'm training.
You're
Like
seeing things two, 3 steps ahead,
Oh
right?
yeah, I'm seeing things. I'm just like, when I'm sparring, I'm just like, I see things that I've never seen before, and then I tell my sensei, I'm like, I just saw this, and he's like, yeah, definitely, and definitely when I'm like rolling and stuff now, I like see things, and so yeah,
All right.
it's going good.
Vanessa would like to know if she can be your hype man in the interview after you win.
I don't think the commission would allow that.
We don't give a fuck, dude. We're getting in there.
I know. Well, okay. So she can be my hype woman. So she just comes up right to the cage and just be like, DJ, DJ.
We just watched this
Like-
video on. She sent me a video. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where this chick's like, "Yeah, I do have a baby daddy, and he's right in the other room because he doesn't like drama." And the mama's in the background. Yeah, she goes, "Yeah." Anyways, Daniel Payne, when you get clean, our motivation for things change. When you got clean, did your motivation for fighting change?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wasn't planning on fighting again, which is crazy how life works out, because if I had never gone to Crossover, if I had never gone back to work there, I would have never met, you know, some of my greatest friends today, you know, Koja, rest in peace, and Jesse. Well, they decided to get back into the ring, and then I was kind of like, it was like going to be a one and done kind of
Was
thing.
our boxing fight your first one back in? Or
Yes.
was it?
Yeah, so that's what got me kind of back into it. I was just like, I'm gonna do that.
Dude, that, even though we both lost, right?
It was so fun.
Dude, that was so fun.
Yeah,
It was
except
so
that
cool to
I
be a
felt-
part of that. And Jesse's the one that talked me into it. And then he didn't even have to fight.
I know.
I was like,
I
this
know.
motherfucker. And
I
then
know.
I fought somebody that Jesse should have been fighting, probably.
Mhm. And I felt
Bullshit.
I felt so bad too, because it was so cold, and I was like the 26th fight, and there was like people waiting for me to fight, and I see them over there. I'm just like, you guys can go.
It was cold.
Cold as hell, dude.
And,
Yeah.
and I felt really bad. So, my motivation has always been the same. I listen to David Goggins a lot.
Brother Gogs, dude. Shout out to David Goggins. the
Shout out to
motherfucking
David
king,
Goggins, dude. He gets me hyped.
Absolutely.
I literally sometimes when I listen to some of them, they put me in tears. But there's that one, what is your purpose? Finding your purpose. I listen to that one all the time, because for me, like, my purpose definitely can't be money, you know? It is my family, but that's not my true purpose. My true purpose that I get up for every morning is for the addict still suffering. Because for so many years, I honestly never thought I was going to get clean. You know, I had convinced myself that I was going to be an addict for the rest of my life. And I was okay with that. Like, I'm going to die an addict. I'm probably going to die in a gutter. And that's sick. But I just want to share my experience, strength, and hope that maybe I can help one person, you know, maybe I can help somebody's mom that won't have to die, you know. So my purpose is just every morning is to just share my experience, strength, and hope that maybe it'll change a life, and
Yeah.
then maybe that life will change another life, and so on and so on.
That's beautiful, dude. Absolutely beautiful. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I
for him?
think all of them got answered.
They got answered.
Yeah, I think, let me look. My big,
This coffee is dark, dude.
Is it?
Got some.
It's pretty
they
good.
answered that one. They answered that one.
Taz had one for you.
And you answered everything I had, so.
Yeah, good old Taz, man.
Dude,
I
I
like
love
that guy.
Taz.
He is
So
a
I
good
didn't
dude,
meet
dude.
Taz until the recovery day at the park when we had the recovery day, and I went over, and that's when Crystal started working there, and I went over and I met him, and then I never really kind of got to know him really until I went and asked him to sponsor me, and dude, I freaking like him. He's a cool dude, man. Like, super cool.
Yeah.
I have nothing but respect
He's
for
amazing,
him.
man. I remember
Like-
when we did the 5K run, like right when I first got out, the recovery day run.
Yeah.
And I
And-
did that too, I walked it.
Yeah, I walked part of it with him. I ran part of it with him, and I didn't know him super great. I was playing on his softball team at the time, and I used to put everybody up here above me. You know, especially someone like Taz owns his own business.
Yeah,
And I'm
for
just
sure.
this measly little peasant. And we
yeah,
walked and
it's
talked,
funny
man,
you
and
say
that
that.
was one of the greatest lessons I learned was when I realized we're all the same, dude. This dude is
That's
right
so
here
funny,
with me
man. You just said
on the
exactly.
ground, you know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you his question.
Go
ahead.
I wanted to real. That's exactly how I felt when I went and met him, bro. Because you're right. He's a business owner. Like, I kind of felt like below him. But then I went and I sat there and we talked, and I was like, dude, this dude, like, that's what I'm realizing, you know. That's the biggest thing I
Yeah.
realized is we're all in the same battle.
There's something special about someone that puts that off to people. You know what I mean? So that's a cool thing to have, Taz. I don't know where my mind went right there, but we love you, man. Grateful for you. What's most threatening to your recovery today? What challenges are you facing today?
My most threatening thing to my recovery today would be the second that I don't put my recovery first. No matter what is going on in your life, you have to have recovery in your life, because whatever you put in front of that is going to be the first thing that's gone. I go training every day. You know, I work and I do all this, but recovery is my sole foundation. I think that's why I have that as my purpose, because that's always going to be the most important thing in my life. Waking up in the morning and knowing the first thing that I say is, I am grateful that I don't have to go get well right now. I can go decide what cereal I want to eat. I can go take a shower. What song do I want to listen to? That's the thing that I wake up to every morning. And the second I stop knowing that I'm an addict, and every day I wake up, I have to focus on recovery is the first thing I need to think about. I think the second you start drifting away from that,
Yeah.
that's when you're in danger. So for me, it's never let that happen. You know, hang out with good guys like this,
Do this
Taz,
kind of shit.
do this kind of stuff, you know, and just keep at it, man. Sober softball, I can't freaking wait.
Me too. I'm
on
excited.
hashtag no matter what this year.
Oh, yeah?
Let's go.
It's my old team.
I'm super grateful.
Moved on to bigger, better things.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on live, dude. We're gonna put it on you guys.
Jordy got me a custom-made jersey. It says Icy Hot on the back of it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
One says riff raff.
Brother Riff.
Brother Riff.
Brother Riff.
Mine says titty.
Titty?
Yeah, titty.
I do like the Lit on Life, guys. You know, I sport your hat.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. The design. I think it stands for what, you know, what I am now. I'm lit on life,
You
bro.
are the definition of lit on life, bro.
It's
For sure.
It's catchy, for sure. You know.
And we love you, man.
Yeah.
We love you to death. Is there anything else? One last thing you want to say, or you good, or?
What color do you bleed?
What color do I bleed?
Yeah.
Red, just like everybody else.
Yeah, not me.
You
Purple.
fucked
Oh,
up. You
oh,
fucked up, dude.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't think about that. I bleed purple, you know that. Actually, you fucked up.
No, I bleed
Yeah.
purple.
Purple and gold.
Yeah, purple and gold and white.
Ooh, strike.
I have a shirt.
Strike one.
Hey.
You both get a strike right.
I have a
Both-
shirt. You've seen my shirt, right? I bleed purple and gold. Let's talk about that real quick. We're going to the Vikings game. My boy right here Going to the Vikings
We
game.
are.
That's awesome.
The game
Remind
over.
us what team.
Just
is
know
your
they
team?
lose every time he.
The Commandos.
The
The Commandos.
Commanditos.
The Commanditos.
Yeah, shit's got rough in the NFL for me, man.
Yeah.
Redskins to fucking Commanders.
Redskins to Washington football team, and then the Commanders.
It's been rough,
So
dude.
you don't even know your own team.
You don't. Yeah, I can't wait though.
I'm so excited. You know, this is another thing. You know, the gifts of recovery.
Yeah.
I'm going to freaking Minnesota.
Right on the 50-yard
You
line.
know, right on the 50-yard line to
Yeah.
go watch my favorite team. I would have never done that. Carl.
No.
You know, I would have never had the opportunity to do that. You know.
Yeah, you can't leave without your drugs. You gotta have enough
No.
drugs to.
Oh,
and it's hard
man, I
to keep
wouldn't
enough
even have
drugs
the
to.
money to-
Yeah.
To
To go.
I could barely even pay
Yeah.
for the $2.50 tracks ride. God.
Yeah.
Let alone a flight and hotel and tickets to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Gifts of recovery,
Red,
man. You know, just
No, no.
absolute.
What? Red. What the fuck?
I was.
Red. Yeah.
Just thinking Commandos,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah. Commandos were the 49ers.
No, I was not thinking Commandos. I wasn't thinking football terms.
Right on, brother. I love you very much.
No, dude. What are you guys doing today? You guys want to go watch some fights tonight?
Where at?
It's over in Hurricane. You know there's fights tonight, right?
I do not.
$30.
I'm not gonna commit right now.
Okay.
I can't do it. I gotta go on a double date tonight.
Oh, cool. What are you guys doing?
I don't know yet.
Very cool.
I'm probably just hanging out.
Have you seen the new Love and Thunder, the Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
It was alright.
It was cool.
Yeah, me and Kitty Cat once seen it.
Kitty Cat. Shout out to Kitty Cat, dude.
Yeah.
Biggest kitty cat you ever seen.
Yeah.
Right on, man. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love you guys very much. I appreciate all the support and love we all do, man. And we're all in this together. Stay fucking lit, dude.